Welcome. I'm Anita from beandesigns.com. I'm here with a tutorial on using paths and text in GIMP to create a date stamp. I'm thinking surely you could use a date stamp on one or more of your digital scrapbook layouts. I've been playing with paths and text for the past few days, and I'm excited to share with you. I've got all kinds of creative things, and this is the first one, how to create this date stamp. We're going to create a selection, make that into a path, then add the text to that path. We'll do two lines, the July and the 2020 will be 2 lines, and then we'll just add the 29 here in the center. Let's start by creating a new image. We're going to create our image at 800 by 800, and we're going to make that 300 pixels per inch. I want my background to be white so that we can see what's going on. You're going to need the Layer tab and the Paths tab. If you don't have the Paths tab here at the top of your layer palette, you'll need to go to Windows, Dockable Dialogs, and choose the Paths tab from there. You can drag it and dock it right here with on the layer palette, like I have, if you want. So let's start by adding guides to our image to help us to center everything. So we're going to go to Image and Guides. We're going to do a new guide by percent. We'll do a horizontal at 50% and a vertical by at 50%. There we have an exact center to help us align everything. Let's do our ellipse tool. So we're going to draw a circle expanding from the center. So I'm going to start here in the center crosshairs, draw a circle. I want this circle to be 550 pixels around. We now have a selection, a circle selection, 550 by 550 pixels. So let's go to our Paths tab. And at the bottom of this tab, you'll find an icon that says Selection to Path. So we have a selection. Let's click on the icon and we're going to create a path. You can make the path visible and you can see the red path and then the marching ants for the selection. It doesn't have to be visible for what we're doing, so we can make that invisible. And we'll go back to the Layer tab and create our text. I'm going to use Georgia font at 200 pixels. I'm going to make it black. I'm just going to type July. I'm going to right click on the layer that has the text and I'm going to choose Text Along Path. You can see that it did create a red path around the outer perimeter of our text here from our text layer. It was placed on the path of the circle, starting at the center and going clockwise. When we go to the Path tab, a new layer has appeared. It's visible. You can see that. And it has that solid red line for the path. Let's go once again to the bottom of that Path tab and let's click on Path to Selection, because now we have a path, we need to make a selection. When I click that, the marching ants appear, we now have a selection along that path. Let's hide that. Go to our layers. We'll need to create a new layer. So I'm going to create a new layer that is transparent. Now we can use the bucket fill tool and the foreground color to fill it in black, or you can go to Edit, Fill with Foreground. That fills our selection, fills in our text. We do want to rotate that along the circle. So we'll just grab it, use the rotate tool, and we'll grab it and move it to the left. We can confirm that we have it aligned nicely by using our move tool and just grabbing above and pulling a guide down. You see that this guide right here underneath the U and the L. So we have it's nicely placed. So this is our first line of text. Let's do a second line of text. So let me go to the text tool. I'm going to use the same size. We're going to do, our text is going to be 2020. While our first line of text was fine going along the path in a clockwise direction, we want the second line of text to go in a counterclockwise direction. So let's go to the Path tab, make our circle path active. We're going to go to the Transform tools and choose Flip. On the Tool Options tab, beside Transform, you can do Layer, Selection, or Path, or Image. And I'm going to choose Path. So click on Path, and then on Direction, Horizontal. And then if we just click on our image, and it will flip the path and make it counterclockwise. So let's return to our layer, our text layer. We're going to right click, Text Along Path, and our text goes to the path starting from the center and going counterclockwise. So let's go ahead and hide the text layer, go to the Path tab. We have a path, right, on the outside of our text. So we're going to click on the icon for Path to Selection. Now we have marching ants. We have a selection. So we'll return to our Layer tab. We'll need to create a new layer for this filling of our selection. Go to our Bucket Fill, click inside the selection, select None, go to the path, hide the red. Look at that. So let's go ahead and go to Rotate. So we're going to use the Rotate tool, and we'll just grab our 2020 and put it into place. Apply Rotate. I can use my Move tool, and I can grab hold of this guideline just to see, did I get it placed pretty good? I got a pretty good placement. We have our first line of text, we have our bottom line of text. We would just need to add a text layer for the date. Actually, I want to make that one a tad bit larger than the other two lines. We can put our 29 in place. Let me show you one more thing. We can create a path from our selection and then make a line along that path to make a circle. So let's create a new layer. We're going to create another circle. We're going to make this circle to be 600 by 600. So we draw my circle, type in 600 by 600. So we have a selection of a circle. Go to the paths and go down to our icons, selection to path. Let's click this. Excellent. And we created a new layer on our path layer palette. Let's click on the next icon just to the right, and it says paint along path. When we click there, a new window opens, and we can choose our stroke line. We can choose our line width. So I'm going to use a width of 9 pixels and click on stroke, and this will appear along our path. When we go to the layer palette, we can select none. We now have a circle that was drawn around our selection, which we turned into a path. I'm going to use my move tool and grab my first line and pull it down, and grab my second line and pull it up. And now I have my date stamp. I totally can use it like this. I could save. What if I hid the white background? I could save this. I could export this. I could export this as a PNG and then stamp it onto any of my layouts. I could keep it like this so that I could come in and change the date or change um, a line. I could do many different things. Very versatile, very helpful on doing a creative way to document and journal on our digital scrapbook layouts. So hopefully this was helpful for you on creating a date stamp using paths in text. Let me know in the comments if there's anything else that you'd like to hear or see a tutorial on. I will be creating a couple of other tutorials because I have some ideas on some other things that we can do using paths and text for our digital scrapbook layouts. Be sure to check out the channel because there are other tutorials on using GIMP in your digital scrapbook layouts. Bye bye for now.